there's just so much happening just outside the realm of your perception that we've discovered, both through my contacts, my family contacts, and the technology that's going on. And it'll all come out.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Monsters Lounge. I'm Jeni.
Hey, I'm Tressa.
Hey Tressa, I was watching our intro there, and I was just thinking we ought to go on a trip again real soon, right?
A great idea. Let's do that.
All right. What do you got going on this weekend? Maybe we should do something.
You know, funny you should ask. I'm going to be in Sheboygan, or at least nearby, for the Great Lakes Paranormal Conference. How about you?
Shush, I'm going to be in the same place.
No way.
I am.
We should sit behind a table together for long extended periods.
We should definitely do that. And say, do you suppose we can get comfy chairs and a backdrop and all that sort of thing?
That's
and maybe even some merchandise?
Funny that you would say that as well, because I have all those things.
Oh my gosh.
And you have some of those things too.
I do have some of those things too. Some handcrafted items. I know.
Oh my God.
I know. So if you're going to be in the Sheboygan, Glenbeulah area, or if you're going to be at the Great Lakes Paranormal Conference, which is probably why you're there, stop on by and see us, because that would be a delight to hear about how great we are.
You know what else we're going to have?
What?
We're going to have a little really bad Polaroid camera that you can take a picture with us and keep it for a keepsake. And a guest book so you can sign in.
Wait, we have a guest book?
Yeah. It's going to be like a wedding or a funeral. Who knows?
It's going to be your funeral if we get no one signing the guest book.
It is. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Ooh. That's all right. Listen, I don't want to dwell on that negativity.
Why?
I don't know. You know, guys, it's going to be fall, and I say guys, but really I'm just talking to you right now. It's going to be fall, and fall is not a great time for me, man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so all the peeps out there with the fall sads, I feel you.
Yeah.
I just said peeps.
You did. I noticed. I took note, and I let it go.
Thank you. I did not. I will never let it go. I'll be thinking about that at midnight.
Oh, I'm sorry. I say it all the time. I don't know why there's a problem. It's because it's fun, Jeni.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
It's fun because I shouldn't say it. That's why it's fun.
You do.
Yeah.
Listen, but we have a pretty great guest. We have a pretty great great guest on tonight, who I'm very excited to talk to, because she's got a bunch of paranormal stuff going on, and she also talks about how to clear spaces and bring some of that, I believe, positivity into your life. So let me tell you about her.
Okay, please do. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. She is an internationally renowned naturopathic doctor, energy healer, remote viewer, paranormal expert, and consciousness teacher. She's taught some of the world's most talented healers, and for the past 25 years has worked with thousands of people around the world. Dr. Kimberly was born with the ability to remote view, see auras, and is highly intuitive. While still in college, she helped police on many occasions. Finding that she had a natural ability with herbs, she worked as an herbalist and went on to create and distribute her own line of herbal organic products internationally. Her personal practice includes multiple clinics throughout Columbus, driven by her inner knowing that her healing work could be made quicker, more affordable, and amplified using technology. She consulted with an esteemed neurosurgeon and realized that the healing frequencies in naturopathy could be applied to all areas of her clients' lives. Her latest groundbreaking program, Frequency Master, teaches how to master frequencies in your own life and trains other healers to use her own unique and successful methods. I did not pronounce all those words correctly, but that is all right. Please help me welcome Dr. Kimberly McGeorge.
Yay.
You girls are so sweet. Thank you.
You are quite welcome. So, hello.
Hello.
All right. Now, so you've known for a long time that you've had extrasensory abilities.
Yeah, it's funny because, you guys are in Chicago, and when I was in Park Forest, Chicago, in my little bed when I was 2 and 3 years old, and I would hear the siren come down Roosevelt Road. I know you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
My little brain didn't understand why I would see like people that were hanging dead and car accidents with blood all over and domestic violence situations. It took me many, many years to figure out like the sirens for me were the trigger, and I would basically like go there before like they even got there to the scene. So
the idea that the sirens were a trigger just gave me chills. That's wild.
Seriously.
I know it took me forever to figure it out, but then I was so kind of dumb. Like I thought like if I blocked it out, so I would like hold my little pillow, over my ears, because I thought like if I could block out the siren, but you can't really block out sirens. And so I was really, really terrified. But that was like my first experience, other than like the beans, of course, the human discarnates. And then when I was a little older and my mom would put me down for a nap, the ceiling would open up like stargates, and I had a choice of like stargates, and I would go through different tunnels and travel all over the multiverse and talk to different beings. And sometimes I'd bring back stuff with me, which was not always so fun. But anyway, that was kind of the beginning.
Yeah, I would imagine not a lot of ability to sort of block and be safe. Yeah, as a child, you're like, what's this thing?
Yeah, let's explore this more.
Yeah, or not.
Yeah. Maybe not so much.
So that was the beginning. Yeah.
I'm always curious whenever we talk to somebody with these sorts of abilities. Are you the only person in your family who has them, or has it been sort of passed to you?
It's interesting because, my grandmother's passed, but I'm pretty sure she had something. A lot of times it comes through the female line genetically, although, and I'm sure you guys believe this too, I think we all have these abilities. I think and I believe in multiple lives at the same time. I used to say past lives, but now I believe everything happens at the same time. But I think we're all at like different places in our journey. So like some people might be super advanced when they're born, and then some people might be advanced like in 7 more incarnations. I just think we're all at different places, but I definitely think this is such a place of forgetting who we are. I just think we have to remember that that's like the essence. Like we all have all the psychic abilities. We all have the ability to see through the dimensions. And one of my passions, I'm passionate about taking the most like disbeliever and proving to them like with not with science, but like with photographs, with sound, with sight, so they can have like their own experience.
Yeah.
I'm really, really passionate about that. And I've developed some pretty common exercises that anyone can do with little money and kind of like prove it to themselves. And usually it works. And then if people come to my live events, it's really cool because I can take them out like you guys do, go out in the field. And I'm like, okay, this is how you see Dogman. This is how you see Sasquatch. This is how you see little people, So it's how you see UFOs,
All right.
Well, is this something that we need to pay for? Because I want to know these things.
Is there a barter system involved? Because this is very interesting.
You know what? It would be fun. So I've been out of the I came in through the door of the paranormal, and it was paranormal. And then it was like blended with all these different things. But like the paranormal is like my first door, and it underlies like my entire life. But I've always wanted to do some kind of like really cool, like experiential thing with somebody's audience, because my audience isn't super paranormal. So I would love to do like a workshop.
Whoa, what happened?
She does not want to do a workshop.
She does not want to do a workshop. Well, hopefully we can get her back sometime very soon.
I think she's about to, here she is.
There we are.
Sorry, I forgot to say StreamYard's bad in the mountains. I just did a stream, so it was good, but they're not loving me. They don't like that idea, so forget it. No, I'm kidding.
I thought maybe you changed your mind. We're going to do that workshop right now.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. So you wanted to do some sort of workshop. We were getting very excited about this idea, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I just always want, because I don't have that audience anymore, you know. So I would love. I mean, I kind of force my people, like they pretend to be interested, you know. They're more interested in UFOs, but I'm all like I live on a habitation site, so I'm like wild about like all the fairies and the little people and the Sasquatch and the dogmen, you know. And I have like portals that open and shut, and you can see them, like the lights, like it's like the sci-fi movies where the line happens and they flash open, you know. It's really cool.
Oh, that is amazing. And now I want to hear about all of the fairies. Tell me about fairies,
Jeni
please.
Yes,
I do.
You both look like you have like fae, like in like soul, like in your, you know, like spirit soul. Both of you do. Like I see it in your face. That's interesting.
I like it. I like it. I don't know what it means, but I like it. And it's making my shoulders go up and down.
Oh, you're so cute. Yeah, it's really interesting. The fae are really interesting. And it's funny because I went through this thing like a year ago where my woods turned like dark. And I had this, it looked like a Sith Lord that I have it on my YouTube channel, that like stood behind this tree and would peek out. And I am like, if you cross that line and start coming to the house, I'm like moving. Like I'm done.
Yeah,
like,
right?
Not a lot scares me, but the Sith Lord came in and he brought like all this stuff, and I started getting pictures. I've never had pictures of like dark fae. And it looked exactly like you would expect, like a dark, like I have this best picture of like this dark fairy. I mean, it's terrifying, but I got some really good pictures of the dark stuff. And finally, I'm a little slow, even with all my experience. Like we overlooked the obvious, but it turned out like through my German line, it was like a genetic contract that I had to break through the German line in my family. As soon as I did that, you know, he was gone, and all the dark beings went, and the kind of great ones came back up to the forefront.
What was the contract?
Yes,
was it just to like hang out with jerks? Like,
well, I shouldn't say. Well, my grandfather was one of Hitler's bankers, so there's like a lot of dark. Yeah, there's a lot of dark, like great grandfather, not grandfather, you know, great whatever great grandfather. Yeah, so.
I mean, not your fault, but I get it.
Yeah. So I think there's some, like, obviously there's contracts that we don't know about, like in our family, that other people made choices that then they pass, you know, down the lines, unfortunately.
Is that like absolutely. A conscious contract, or is that like a spiritual, like maybe you're just making bad choices and this contract has opened up? It can be both
from my observation. I think in my case, obviously, unfortunately, both lines are like really like weirdly, you know, you would call it bloodline. I'm like from a double bloodline family. So I think most of them were unfortunately pretty like conscious dark contracts. And I went to a psychic once, which I don't do very often, but sometimes it's fun to go to other people, you guys know. Yeah. And in Sedona, and he sat there and he said, "You're here to like clean up your genetic line. That's part of the reason, you know, this incarnation." So it's kind of cool to think that.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure at all.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, because you're so ingrained in the light and helping people and healing, so you know, like that's.
I tried.
How
cool
Jeni. Is that? Yeah, you're just sort of erasing the back dark history. Okay, so the good fairies now, they just kind of come and hang out? So it's like let me restart this question.
Okay.
So when you're seeing the fae, is it like a different dimension, or are they here just kind of popping in and out? Or do you have like a window?
No, it's like 3D. And most of the time, like I have the dark fae in 3D, what I call 3D, or, you know, what you guys can see with your eyes. Like that's on my camera, like in 3D. The light fae I get a lot on my security cameras. Like I'll watch my security cameras and they'll fly in and they'll hover. It's like Tinkerbell. They'll literally hover. They know, like they want me to take pictures.
I love that they hover because
super amazing, you know, pictures off my security cameras. I get a lot of good. That's also a tip. Like if you have infrared cameras, like because I live out of the mountains, I have tons of cameras, but I found out it's great for paranormal photography. Like it does all the work for you. One time in the afternoon, and they took whoever they is, one of the theys took this picture. I haven't been able to find it, so I think they wiped it because it was like daylight, girls, afternoon, and I get this notification, somebody's in the side yard, and I'm like, that's scary because out here is not like, well, maybe it is like Chicago. I don't know what Chicago's like anymore. But out here, you don't set foot on anybody's property because you know that they're going to have a shotgun.
Oh.
They might warn you. They might not. So like, I'm like, in the middle of the afternoon, that's pretty bold, to come up in the mountains of someone's property. So I went, I pulled it up and I am like, there's this huge dog man sitting 3 feet off my deck. Clear as day, came through. That's where one of the portals is. And it was just came through. You can see the hair. It was crazy.
Wow,
I sent it to like a bunch of people, but I can't find it now. So sometimes they remove pictures like that because they don't want you, the controllers or whoever, whatever the government doesn't want you to like pass around pictures like that. They don't want it to get out like public, even though I've gotten some out. They'll usually disappear magically from my and everybody else's phones. That's pretty crazy too. When you send them to people, you're like, can you send me that picture? And they're like, I can't find it. Everybody said they could. So I'm still looking for it, but
wow.
Amazing to get a daytime picture that clear,
Yeah, seriously. What kind of protection before we get back into like some of these portholes and portholes and portals? Sorry. Before we get back into that, what kind of, I know that the Fae and I'm not sure about any of the other beings, but I know the Fae like usually have these requirements, right? Or these ways of protecting or like the offerings of food or real big into like porridge and milk and stuff, like according to folklore. Do you do any of that like around your house? Like what kind of thing do you have?
That's a great question that we will get right back to after this message.
Hey, boys and ghouls, Neil here from Graveside Paranormal Ghost Tours. Join us on October 26th in Watseka, Illinois for the seance at the Roth House, known for the story The Watseka Wonder, the first documented possession in America, or was it a spiritual miracle? In the end, you decide. We're going to be having ghost tours throughout the house every hour on the hour from 1 p.m. to about 2 o'clock in the morning. We are going to have vendors. We're going to have speakers. Miss Diet Renee will also be out there doing the seance at 7:30 at night. And guess what, girls and boys? We are also going to be filming a documentary. So each and every one of you can be part of this unique experience. So go to gravesideparanormal.com to further details about our event or on Facebook and go to Eventbrite at The Seance at the Roth House. So grab your holy water, call your mama, and boo.
Oh, that's going to be a great event.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be fun.
All right, let's get back into it. What about the fairies and whatnot? The fae and the protection and the offerings and all of those sorts of.
Yeah, and this is going to sound really cheesy, but I go on Amazon and I order like these tiny, tiny little silver charms.
Oh,
like for like $10, you can get like 500 or
yeah.
now, and they're really tiny, and I put them all around. Like they just like really tiny, of course, really tiny things. I don't know what they do with them, but they pick those up all the time. The crows also will take them, and sometimes I'll leave food out for them. But like I kind of do it because this is really funny. So even the quote good fairies, they're like little pranksters. They all have prankster energy, so they like to think they're being sneaky. So I'll accidentally leave like a cookie on the counter, or I'll accidentally leave my donut box like open, so they'll nibble at stuff like that. But I have like, I don't know if you guys have ever observed this. Again, I always say, we don't see because we don't look. So here's an example. So I have pranksters. Sometimes they're the fairies, but sometimes they're like, people would consider it creepier, like discarnate children. But you guys know like the cheap blinds from Walmart, the ones with the slats that you buy when you're like in college, But I'm lazy, so when I built my house, my dad put those up temporarily, and I've like done almost all my blinds, but my bed. Well, these dang fairies, they break all my slats because they'll crack them open, and you'll even sometimes turn around like you close them for night, and I'll hear them go up, because you can hear like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I'll hear them go up, but they drive me nuts because then they'll break the slats. So I have all these like janky blinds. But I've noticed when I go in Airbnbs, like if you walk in an Airbnb and they have like cheap blinds, that's everywhere. It's not just my house. So these like to mess with the bee. I'm sure somebody else knows what I'm talking about. You would think it was like an accident. If it didn't happen at my house, I would probably be like, that was the cleaning lady or whatever. But I think they do it everywhere. I think they like to mess with blinds.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, I remember in college and having those blinds and getting a little drunk and wanting to peek out of those. So I get it. I get it, fairies. I totally understand. Also, side note, I really enjoy the fact that now there are in my brain all of these tiny fairies around your property that have like little mountains of silver charms.
I don't know.
And also that you're developing some sort of crow army because you're giving them shiny objects.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
I love that. I also want you to buy them stuff from a dollhouse, little silverware and little tiny chairs. Listen, have some nice furniture.
I did buy them some little houses, but they disappeared. Like all the houses I put out disappeared. So I don't know who or what took that. Like probably know it was a fox or something. I do have a funny story about when I tried to gift a Sasquatch family though. I ordered this like rag doll like for their kids on Amazon. I know where like one of their like places they hang out by the stream in the back. And so I take it back there, trudge through the woods, leave it in their thing, you know. I'm like, this is for your babies, whenever you guys come back. And my dad came over the next day and he walks in the house holding this doll that I had trudged like half a mile into the woods and put, you know, and I'm like, is Dad hiking or what's going on? He goes, why is there, because I have no kids, I live by myself with my dogs. And he's holding this doll and he goes, why is there a doll in the driveway? And I'm like, the Amazon guy must have dropped it out of his truck. Like, I'm not telling my dad, you know.
Bigfoot was like,
they did not like that doll. They're like,
no thanks,
doll lady. No thanks. You know,
this does not represent us. No, thank you. What are you doing? We like marbles and food. That's
that is what we have definitely heard. Yeah. So. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you've also had some UFO encounters, correct?
Yeah, I just had today. I just took my phone, my little 13 or 14 or whatever, 7,000, iPhone. They burn those phones out and chuck them the new ones. But I took my phone. It's bright blue sky, not night, not cloudy, nothing. Turned it up, put it up to 9 magnification, and I got like hundreds of UFOs above my house just doing that. Like it's not, everybody's like Courtney Brown, the Far Side. He's like, you have to put this on your phone. You have to buy stuff. No. Like our equipment, will catch it. You guys just need to try stuff.
I do need to try stuff.
Yeah, you definitely need to try stuff. Is there something that is in the area that is like that? There's that much of a.
I don't know. Well, you guys might have it harder because I'm in the mountains, so I have black skies. So I know when there's ships over my house, like there's 3 ships over my house right now. I have like tons and tons. It's like so boring. I don't even take it anymore because there's so many ships. When we went to Sedona, I made an arrangement with them. I'm like, can you guys make me look good? I'm like, can you guys line up in like formation? And then can you fire off when I count? And I had like 50 people there as my witness. We had military goggles. They did it too.
Nice.
They up and they fired off. I'm like, 1. And they went 2. It was awesome. I'm like, thank you.
I love
it. I could have ended really badly because I was like bragging about it like the whole time, but
yeah.
Okay. So
now
like,
you guys, you owe those guys some dolls from Amazon.
You're so funny.
For sure. Tressa, you
mentioned discarnate children and humans a little bit. Can you explain that a little bit more? Because I'm not familiar.
Yeah, so human discarnate. That's what people say ghosts. I call them human discarnates. I don't know. I just like to be different. But so I believe that beings. I don't even know if they're always children. A lot of prankster energies will take forms. Like a lot of elementals. I don't mean like fairies. I mean just like elemental spirits will take forms of children. They're just really huge pranksters. But we've always had a lot of creepy, I don't know, conjuring house type of beings. Because all my children can see. I have 4 girls. They can all see, they can all hear. They have mad psychic ability. So I think both positive and negative beings just like to hang out around people that can see them and hear them. both for like good and kind of to tease them and torture. I will tell you what helped. All my activity's gone way down since I got my black cat. Cats are really good for control. The elementals do not like, the prankster elementals do not like cats. They don't care about the dogs. They'll torture the dogs all day.
Yeah, because dogs love it. They're like, friend.
They respect the cats. They're like, yeah. So I'm pretty happy. I haven't had to do as much house clearing of my own personal like bedroom and house. I have the best exercise for you guys though. It is the creepiest. Like it's so creepy though. Like when I get up and go to the bathroom, I am like, I'm not looking. But this is what I tell people that are like really skeptical that there's things in their house. Okay, that's fine. That's in her house, but there's nothing in my house. It's in all your houses, 100% of houses. So you turn on your hall light, go in your bedroom, turn all the lights off in your bedroom, lay down in your bed, wait a couple minutes, get a little relaxed, maybe not sleepy, but relaxed. And then hang your head over the bed and relax your eyes and look under your door. Things will be walking.
I don't like it. I don't want that.
You know, when you get up and go to the bathroom, like if there's any light, because I leave like a little night light out because one of my dogs sleeps out here. Like I won't even look under the door in the middle of the night because I think it's kind of creepy.
It
Even
is
though,
not kinda. What kinda is there? Now I'm just creeped.
not in my
Sleep.
house.
but you can film them. Then you can like, I won't even post it because I'm like, it's kind of chilling. I know it doesn't sound, I know it's not super dramatic, but when it's in your house and you're by yourself or even not, and you can even get it like on video, it's pretty chilling, you guys.
Yeah, but how am I going to record it when I am hiding under my covers?
Good point,
That's
Jeni.
going to work out at all. Because that's what makes them go away, right? If you pull the covers over your head.
Yeah,
Right?
that's it.
Like I said, I don't look. I am like the biggest whip. I've like done exorcisms, but there's me like I'm not looking. I'm like trying to get there and put my head down so I can't see under the door.
Well,
No, I don't want that in my house. I will fully be fine with it anywhere, but not where I live and spend
See,
the
that's what I
majority
mean.
of my
That's
time.
the creep factor. Is like I don't know. It's just something about I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, because it's your space. It's your space. People are not allowed to, or other
That's
things.
the legend, girlfriend. That's the legend. Unfortunately, it's not the fact. It's the
Oh,
legend.
no, that's just what's in my head. I don't know about legends.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
leave me alone.
That's what
I hear you.
So what you're saying, Tressa, is that you are going to be willing to try this experiment when we are in Sheboygan in
There you go.
in not your own home, but just in a
That's a
hotel
good
room.
idea, actually.
100%, yes,
Because we
actually.
have the
Alright.
light on in the hall, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Like
always.
yeah.
All right.
That's perfect. I want to hear back from you guys. I want to hear about that.
All right, we're gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down and make sure that we do that, or at least make sure that Tressa does it while I run somewhere else.
But then there's nowhere to run because you have to run through them to get out or the window.
I'll do it while you're at the pool. It's
I'll
fine.
make sure to get a first floor room. We will be out the window.
There you
I
go.
will be out the window,
There you go.
shutting it on my way out. Good luck, Tressa.
Thanks, Jeni.
Godspeed. All right. So what else?
I have a question
know.
about the UFOs.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a relationship with any sort of extraterrestrial, interdimensional beings? Or is it just you have the kind of relationship where you acknowledge each other, like, what's up, Fred?
It's funny because I don't know, like 10 years ago at another house, I don't know, I was looking up and there was always this ship above my house. And I'm like, directly. And I'm like, do you know me? And it like blinked. And so I started this whole conversation based on like yes and no, like people do for knocks and goes,
Sure.
And so eventually I got out of this ship that supposedly like one of my quote lovers or husbands or something is like on that ship. Like, because all our lives are concurrent and I have like soul family on that ship. So he and I have somewhat, it's not like a real relationship, of course, but it's kind of nice because I know it's not all like negative because a lot of the ships are negative. As a matter of fact, chemtrails, everybody thinks chemtrails are like, oh, chemtrails are dropping all this junk on us. Some of the chemtrails are so our government can track negative ships. They use the chemtrails to shoot down like negative ET ships.
I've never heard that before. That's wild.
Never have I. What?
My ex-fiance works for an intelligence agency. So he told me a lot of stuff he wasn't supposed to do. I think the intelligence agencies are very short-sighted. Like they really think there's no pillow talk.
Yeah, come on.
More people have to like they know so much crap. Like, it slips out.
People are still people.
That's
gonna happen.
Well, and not only that, but if you're holding that kind of information, I would imagine there's some nightmares happening, right? Like there's got to be.
Well, we're not together, so yeah, there's a lot of nightmares. A lot of drugs. I mean, they end up having. I mean, I don't want to make excuses for them, but like the stuff that they do and see and have to hold, like I think it's hard. Like I think you fracture and break under it eventually. And he was in it for very young, so he's not doing the best, like drugs and stuff.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, yeah. If you've got that much stuff and that much trauma going on,
yep.
Yeah, not good at all. All right, so switching just a tiny bit, but along with the sort of creepier or more negative entities, what is a succubus and a incubus? Because I noticed that in some of the notes and some of the research that I did. What is that?
Yeah, that was one of the real surprising things for me. I never really paid a lot of attention to it until I started running scans and bouncing like what people were experiencing at night. So a lot of times people say like, what's that called where you can't move, sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
Or like, oh, we were abducted. And it can be abduction or it can be like alien stuff. But I find a lot of times it's incubus, succubus. And so the legend is, they take the form of a beautiful man or beautiful woman and they come in and they climb on top of you and they seduce you and they have real sex with you. Like there's real evidence. I don't know how pure the show is or not. So I'm going to watch
it. So let's just skip over that.
So
we do have sponsors.
Okay.
Moving on.
So, but it's a physical thing. I'm not talking like imaginary or dream. I'm saying like physically. So, that's like the legend. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And, I have friends in the paranormal and I've heard them talk about it and they're like, history books say this, history books say that. I'm like, I don't care about history books. Like, I want to know what's happening to people like right now. Like, is this happening to me? Is this happening to my kids? And so, how like there's so much sexual material, like Netflix, what used to be like XXX is like R, what used to be R is like PG. So like we're exposed, from a young age. Sure. It's everywhere. Like we all know that.
Right.
So you could literally watch something pretty mild, but you're still being exposed to quote,
right.
sexual material. And so I found out through lots of research and running lots of fields, this is all it takes for them to ride in on. Or let's say you're even married, like even quote healthy. Let's say you're like, oh, that was so hot last night, babe. And you guys are like flirting or, sending pictures or whatever. They'll ride in on that. It doesn't have to be like, it can be
interesting.
Fantasy. If you haven't erased or broken your merge, because sex is merge with all the people you've had, relationship with, all the way back to the first time, they'll ride in on all those relationships because they're all in your energy field. So that frequency of that encounter attracts these beings. And it's not, what's crazy is it's not about sex for them. It's literally, they're riding in on that and it's an energy harvest. But the shocking thing that I found out through research and looking at tons of people's fields with my technology is it's happening like multiple times a week to most people because we're not taught to dissolve ties, to unmerge and to erase even fantasies. Like nothing wrong with having a fantasy, doing your guys' things, whatever you guys all want to do, no judgment there, but they ride in on that. So after you do that, you
got to cut ties.
You need to cut ties. You need to dissolve it and get it out of your field. So, that was really interesting. It was really shocking. Like
seriously,
we always think things like that happen to other people, but I mean,
it's just happening. Yeah. Now, what about possessions and things?
That's even crazier. So back in the day, I did my first exorcism when I was 20 and I did it pretty much like the religious way. You guys know what I mean. And it worked most of the time. And I thought I was, bad stuff. And, but long story. I didn't understand like this place. I didn't understand Earth. I didn't understand what we're in. I didn't understand like how it fits into like anything. Like I see nothing. I know.
It's gross here.
It's starting to get a little inkling again. But I didn't realize like when people say these are avatars, you guys, like they're avatars. Like they're like containers. Like we are just like a glass and anything can be in it. No, this is cider, by the way. Cider, it really is cider. But that can be cider, but I could pour water in it, then it would be water and cider. Or I could pour Coke in it, it would be Coke and water and cider. Or I could pour vodka in it, then it would be. So we leave our bodies all the time. So I found this huge tie with not being in your body. And then I can see the aura because, I have a program to see it. And we see all these holes in people's auras for a multitude of reasons, not just one reason. Some people are only half in their body. So then you're leaving your like container empty. Well, bodies are at a premium here, as you guys probably know. And it's not just one thing that's going to jump in. We see human discarnates. We see just negative soul groups. We see positive soul groups. Like it's just hot property. There's only so many bodies, right?
Right.
Other than clones, which is another conversation. But, they jump bodies. So it was so shocking to find out way down the line, years and years later, that I was probably delivering people. I was probably freaking possessed while I'm like trying to deliver people because, I clear all the time. I clear multiple times a day. I go to the grocery store and get jumped. So do you guys. You probably just don't know. I haven't looked at you, so you may be clear right now. But the secret is clearing. Everybody gets possessed. And that's been one of the most shocking discoveries. Again, I came in with one belief, but the evidence, you guys know what I mean. You see evidence, then you have to change your mind. So, yeah, I have a radical kind of view on that, but it's a view based on we can see possession in the aura. And I can teach people how to read the aura, but you can see possession and it's consistent. Every aura that looks like this, the person's possessed. There's like no deviation. So now I've gotten so good because I've looked at hundreds of thousands of auras. I don't even have to go deeper to the other, information in my technology. Or thankfully, I used to merge with people. Have you ever merged with a possessed person? Not fun. It's not even fun to merge with someone who's not possessed. But, I'm lazy now. I don't have to do any of that. I just let the tech do it. I look at the aura and we're all good. And then I'm like, I can clear them, but I also teach them how to clear themselves, of course.
What does the aura look like? What does the aura look like that is possessed?
Generally, I'll see if I can hold it up. Because my goddaughter just sent me hers. Because she said, can you clear me? I'm super possessed. I'll show you an example of I don't know if you can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's really pretty, but you can see the black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a possessed aura. A great being that's been jumped.
Yeah, black isn't normally a color in an aura, is it?
It's not good. Yeah.
So, that's one. There's other. There's different levels of possession. This is a kind of exorcist level possession, but there's lighter possession, or where something's just in your field. It's not in your body. It's like standing by you, But yeah. So we aren't taught anything, and we're not taught. We think we are. We think we know, but it's been really enlightening over the past, 35 years working with technology. Because frequency doesn't lie.
Right.
Right. A being in you is going to, read out a being in you 100% of the time. And then we can go to what type of being. The elementals jump, the fae jump, the ETs jump. Everybody jumps. Adepts, like you would say, like somebody who's really adept. I'm pretty adept at energy. I don't want to, but you just heard me say I can merge.
Yeah.
Merge is if I merge with you guys, I'm possessing you because I become you from the inside out. That's how I used to read and do medical intuitive work. I crawled around your body. Like I would crawl around and say, is there any calcification in the veins? What's the heart look like? I would literally crawl around in the inside of the body.
I have a question about this and astral projection and remote viewing that we will get to right after this break.
Oh, great.
Oh, hey, Tressa. Jeni? Oh, I'm just reading my book by international TV sensation, Dave Schrader. I'm reading the book, too. I don't remember the name of it or who wrote it, but yeah. There, I like your shirt. You? I got it on monstersloungepodcast.com. You've got a great shirt, too. Oh, that's so weird. I got it at monstersloungepodcast.com too. They have really great stuff. A full variety. I know, right? They have everything. Shirts. Tote bags. Clutches. A phone case, I think. It's the best.
All right, man, that website
Quality.
looks great.
Yeah, so good. So
Tressa,
as
you
I
had a
was
question.
saying,
Yeah.
yes, thank you. So when I don't know if remote viewing would be considered something like this, but something like astral projection, is that opening you up more to this sort of thing?
I mean, yeah, I can. I mean, so my family works in human cloning and transfer of human consciousness. So again, I know some things about this, but so they do it to us all the time. So I kind of believe we should do it because I believe in us taking control of it instead of letting them dip in at night and pull our consciousness and stick it in clone bodies. And then we're off doing missions like Alias, which is what's actually happening. In our clones, and we're being used. Then you drop in and you're like, why do I feel drugged? And one of the things I always tell people to do, I just tested positive last week for oxy. I don't have oxy in my house, but I tell people to get a urine test, like off Amazon, or if you guys work at a hospital, whatever. But don't steal it. Don't say
Thank you.
Just steal stuff.
Don't steal, kids.
But,
Kids,
you'd
don't
be
steal.
surprised what people say that I tell them to do that I really don't tell them to do. Like, get these urine tests. There's like 24 street drugs and like addiction type of drugs, and if you feel drugged in the morning, you probably are. A lot of times you will test positive. I have a picture of the cup where I tested positive for oxy. I've tested positive for Molly, tested positive for, I know I'm sounding like a drug addict. I don't do drugs. But again, they're coming in and they're sometimes taking you bodily. A lot of times people are like, it's the aliens. Usually it's not. Usually it's like military, because you guys know the triangle ships are ours, solar warded. Mm-hmm. And I call them the daytime kind of like, police, like sky police. So a lot of you guys work for solar ward, and a lot of you guys, there's just so much happening outside the realm, just outside the realm of your perception that we've discovered. And I mean, both through my contacts, my family contacts, and the technology that's going on. And it'll all come out. My shows sound really crazy, but someday people are going to be like, that's old news. Like, we know all this stuff now.
Oh, that is what. Tressa, does that answer your question about astral projection?
No, maybe not. Oh, so astral projection is you taking control, you deciding where to go, because like there's so many parallel timelines, parallel realities, whatever. You can actually learn how to hone in on your frequency. And there's two ways of seeing it. So you can watch yourself like in a movie, like, watch your life or whatever you're doing. Or again, you can jump into the body, just like they put you in bodies. You can do that yourself. You can jump into your body. You can jump into someone else's body. You can jump in a car. And that's an advanced skill. I know a couple of people that can do it. I can do it sometimes inside out, but I can go watch from the outside. That sounds creepy, but it's me. So maybe it's not super creepy. But a lot of people can go watch like a movie, but not a lot of people can go like, when I say astral projection, true astral projection is you can feel, you can smell, you could eat. You know what I'm saying? You are there. You've split your consciousness into, like bilocating, trilocating.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, no, that answered my question. Thank you for the support, Jeni.
You're welcome. I didn't know, because, astral projection, I could barely say it earlier, so clearly I know nothing. But I definitely wanted to leave some space for you to talk about like how to clear, because we do hear that a lot. And I know that people in my personal life have asked me, like, hey, do you know how to do this? And I'm like, absolutely not, but I can probably hook you up with somebody who does.
Right. I really don't like clearing people because, you don't want like 1,000 people. Can you clear me? Sure. Can you clear me? Can you, Yeah. So I like to teach people, how to clear themselves. So one of the most random discoveries I found was, do you guys know what a shofar is?
I don't think I do.
The person who drives you around with a little hat?
Actually.
Oh, I do know what that is. Yes.
That's what you think I am sometimes?
Wait, no, I don't even know how you pronounce that. Now you're messing me up. No, the shofar is like the ram's horn, like in the Bible, which I'm not a big fan of, but like they blew it like in battles, like before battles, they blew the shofar. Well, randomly we found out that beings in your space, in your body, and in your house, they hate that sound. So one of the things I encourage people, like I'll wake up in the middle of the night if one of my dogs that can see is barking. If I remember, I'll like drag my phone out and like find the shofar and I'll play it, and immediately my dog will stop barking, because the beans will leave. I mean, sometimes it's temporary, so I wouldn't say only do that, but like the prankster beans, the ghosts just whipping through, the, you know, elementals that are peeking in, like they're like, I hate that noise, I'm out of here.
If you need to shut up your dog, use the shofar, is what
There
you're
you go. But one of the best thing, now this takes a while and you have to kind of like Indian food, but I mean, the curry pot works really, really well for clearing your house. So you get like I use like a little fondue pot, like you can put on low. I don't know. That's like probably too old for you guys. What's fondue? That's like an old like 70s, 80s things, but like a little tiny crock pot, or like potpourri. I guess they have potpourri, like little pots.
Or candle melters.
Any kind of curry mix in it, and you pour water into it, and just like, I just use my judgment. There's not like a certain amount, but that's a frequency. Like curry has a certain frequency. And so your house will smell like an Indian restaurant. You usually have to do it 3 to 5 days. Your house will be like, there's nothing coming in your house for a long, long time. Like if you had like, hopefully you guys don't have like some of the houses I worked in where like there's blood dripping down the walls. But if you had like things missing, or you know what I mean? You just know there's something up, pictures are crooked, all that stuff will stop, usually for like months. So I do that for like the harder cases. Salt always works just by intention. I don't think there's anything magical about salt, but I think it's like the intention people have put in over the years. A lot of times when we scan people, the bedroom will ask to have salt around the bed, which is kind of frightening. Ring cameras are amazing, amazing, amazing. Sometimes they'll stop incubus, succubus, they'll stop ET abduction, they'll stop intelligence agencies from messing with you. All this stuff is going on in almost everybody, almost every night. I have this theory. I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about it. My theory is like, we might not need to sleep. They just want us to go to sleep so they can do all this crap. I mean, that's just my
sleep
theory.
Is so delightful.
I know.
That's what they want you to think, Jeni.
Well, then it worked, because that's what I think.
I know, I like sleeping.
And a cheap thing you can do is a black light, because black lights don't really keep you up. So beings don't like to step into the black light either, because you can take a picture with your camera. So like kids, when I work with kids and hauntings and really severe hauntings, the first thing we do is a black light, because that's the least intrusive. So we put a black light in on both sides of the bed so that they're kind of like, nothing wants to. They're like, how am I going to get around this, without someone taking a picture of us? So, yeah.
And it's a really great thing just for kids to have for like their own peace of mind. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Aw, that's nice.
Yeah, but a lot of the things that are commonly taught, like in the new age, like, do you know what I mean? Like books and stuff. Like, this is what I say to people. I don't know if I have a piece of jade. So, okay, you guys. So Jeni, if you're trying to rob my house and I'm holding this piece of jade, Jeni, don't come in my house. Is this going to stop you? If you want to rob my house, is this piece of jade going to stop you? No, it's not.
Well, little do you know, I'm in it for the jade. So
yeah, I was going to say, she's going to take the jade.
Yeah, I will book check you and take it.
There you go. Well, you know what I'm saying. So are we ludicrous? Like, do we use our minds? Like, what is this stopping? You know how they say crystals? Crystals do not stop beings from coming in your house. Carrying crystals do not stop you from being jumped. Half these beings are older, wiser, smarter, and they have full memory. We don't. We're memory wiped every single day, multiple times,
Yeah.
All my money went into crystal bracelets, and now
you're ruining our whole thing.
As I said to my dog, I have so many crystals. I got rid of some of my crystals because I started looking at them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is someone's leg, like literally. Like you could see like the bone in the middle, and you can see, and then the black is like the skin. And I'm like, I told my daughter, this is creepy. Like I have all these dead people and beings around my house. And she's like, oh mom, get over it. Everything's dead here. And it's true. If you study like the history and the cataclysms and the mud flood, like everything is kind of dead here. Like we build on,
death.
We build on dead.
Well, yeah. Well, that's fine. It's totally fine. Wait, what about the crystals and the dead people?
Oh yeah, I wish I had it. It's out in my garden by the street because I wanted to put the leg really.
Yeah, like get the dead people out of the house. But
I'll email it to you guys. I swear, you will be like, that's a leg. It's like a thigh. It's somebody's thigh. A lot of the crystals are dead animals and people, and we're like waving it in front of like beings, you know? They're like, you guys are stupid. Like, where are our heads? Where does some of this stuff come from? Not saying crystals aren't good for some things, but they aren't always good for what they tell you.
Right.
You know,
it's energy. It's fine, but it's not a gun.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. Like, I just don't personally like dead legs. That's me.
One of my favorite things, so I don't understand what you're saying, but okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've got a few of them just spattered around my house just for funsies.
Yeah, you should take care of that. It's gross.
Yeah, I really should.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, what have we not asked you that you would like to bring up at this point?
No, I'm good. I mean, really, you know, it's funny because I don't believe that I don't really teach a lot of protection. That's mainly for children because I don't believe we need protection. I think we need knowledge. And once you have knowledge, then you can decide like how to handle things, you know, that are really going on. But I think it's embodiment. Like I made the mistake of teaching a class and I do take the blame for this mistake. I taught this class called Navigating the Astral, where I was teaching everybody how to go in the astral and kick, you know what, and do all these magical things. And everybody's like, but how? And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm so dumb. I should have taught a class on discernment and embodiment first, because you have to embody your power. We're all like super limitless, super old, super powerful, super psychic, super everything. But if you can't just be like, you know, to a being that's standing in the middle of your bedroom at night, you can't be like, I'm old. You know, how do you know this thing isn't older than you? You have no memory. What if this thing has complete memory? Most of us can't like put electricity through our fingers. These beings do have their full powers. So we need to become educated, and then we need to learn how to embody the power. I have a story. I don't know if I want to tell it because I'm pretty sure nobody will believe it, but I have witnesses to it. I was battling for an hour and a half to go live to do a pretty revealing teaching on YouTube. And they were shutting down Google Meet. They were shutting down Zoom. They were shutting down StreamYard. I have like multiple things because they shut down my stuff when I'm going to go with like weird, dicey information they don't want to get out there because my computers are hacked. I'm surprised they're allowing this. They only kicked me off once or twice. But so I'm like battling. And, you know, I'm like big, like I teach embodiment. I teach discernment. I'm like, I talk about all this stuff. So after an hour and a half, I'm like, whoa, stop. I'm going to go deal with them. So I went and I started blowing up military labs. The second I blew up the first military lab in the astral, everything worked. It was like magic. And I witnessed this. And I am like, you dummy, you teach this stuff. You got to do it, girl, you know? But that's how powerful we are. The astral sits, there's really no dimension. So it actually sits in the same space as 3D. So you can affect 3D from the astral or any quote dimension or density. And you can go with either way, up or down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I turn my gaze on them, instead of just sitting there being this little victim, the military is like, okay, well, there you go. Stop. You know?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Message loud and clear. Thank you, Mary. Yes.
All right. So why don't you tell us where we can find you, where we can find all of your things, please.
We can take that workshop that you're going to develop.
Well, you guys have to come up with secrettoeverything.com. And then you can just type my name in Google. I have a YouTube channel. I have, social media, but you can pretty much type it in. I'm Serene Wellness on Twitter, just because that's an old account. And I have a lot of people on there. I don't want to change the name. I don't remember which Facebook. I have like 5 Facebook accounts, but you guys can find me. And we have a contact form if you want to get a hold of me on my website, or you can write support@KimberlyMcGeorge.com if you have any questions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. It was a very fun show.
Absolutely.
I have more
questions.
It's different.
You guys can say I'm crazy, but I'm different.
No, I love it. It's great.
It is. It's all kinds of stuff. There's so many things that I have no idea about.
Yeah, same. I don't know what I'm
absolutely.
Well, you guys are great. I really wish you well in your conference. I'm sure you'll do amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me know if you do that experiment. I'm
going to, for sure.
Yeah, I'm totally going to make her, because now we have to report back to people, especially in the chat. And and I definitely want to point out, we're going to have all of her information in the description. And also, I was looking at the chat and some trouble finding the website and things. And I think, especially on Instagram and Facebook, I know Tressa has our info. and links. I have our info and
For
links.
our website,
Yeah.
Monsters Lounge, monstersloungepodcast.com.
Mhm.
Not hard to find, guys. You don't have to Google it. Just type in.
They're saying that it
Aw.
is. But anyway, check out our Facebook and our Instagram, both Tressa and I, and then Monsters Lounge, and all of that information will be there. And then also, please look for Kimberly McGeorge and all of her things. Please mention it again. I just had it and I just lost it.
Okay,
Serene.
secrettoeverything.com.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Everybody else. Sorry. Don't forget to find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and the Paranormal 60 Network. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out our merch previously mentioned on our website, monstersloungepodcast.com. Send us an email or comment. We love hearing from people. So until next time, thanks for visiting the Monsters Lounge.